Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick video for you and show you my Young Living Savvy Minerals makeup routine that I do for just a normal everyday look. I have been using Savvy since it came out in June and absolutely love it. I, like most of the Young Living members, am super passionate about using products that are not toxic and that are going to not add extra harsh chemicals to our lives. And so I was thrilled when Young Living came out with a safe makeup that not only was good for us and free of a bunch of the harmful things that the majority of makeup has, but also has fantastic coverage. I don't feel at all like, I miss my old stuff. So it's been fantastic. So I just wanted to kind of show you what I do. I'm pretty minimal with my makeup. I mean, I do like makeup and I do wear it. So I do, eyes, lips, cheeks, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not really into contouring or tons of eyeshadow colors and blending and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of middle of the road. If I'm not doing a video, this routine takes me about 5 minutes. It'll take me longer for the video because I'll be explaining, but it's about a 5-minute routine on a normal day. So this is me without any makeup at all. As you can see, I have a little bit of redness in my skin, but other than that, a couple blemishes will pop up now and then, but overall it's not, I don't have a ton of stuff that I'm trying to hide, so I don't have to use super heavy coverage, although you can. I have lots of friends who use Savvy to cover up lots of stuff, and it does an amazing job, but for myself, it's pretty light coverage. I have washed my face off this morning and I used the Art Light Moisturizer, but that was several hours ago, so it's not like I just did it. Some people like to do it right before they put their makeup on so that it's a little bit tacky, but I usually put my makeup on way after I've done my moisturizer in the morning, so it's just basically a bare blank slate face. So let's get started. So I start with the foundation in Warm 1. That is the color that I am, and the mineral foundation, is very forgiving, so you can usually go up or down a color and it's not very noticeable. At convention, I was color matched and they used both Warm 1 and Warm 2 on me, and I really could not tell a big difference. I could have gone with either one, so I went with Warm 1. I've been using it since June and this is January, so over 6 months, and it has been perfectly fine. So that's what color I use. So I put a little bit in my lid, which another lighting, it's kind of hard to see that, but put a little bit in my lid. I take the foundation brush, which if you are using Savvy makeup, I highly recommend getting the brushes. When they first came out, I didn't grab them. I just used the brushes that I already had, or I went to Target and bought a couple of brushes because I didn't have all the brushes that I needed to apply the mineral makeup. And I was kind of like, well, I don't know that I need the Young Living brushes specifically, but when they came back in stock, because they had gone out of stock right after convention because I already bought them, I decided to buy them more as like a business tool. I thought, if I'm going to be sharing about the makeup with my downline, I need to have these brushes. And so I got them, blown away. They are so soft, they are so amazing, and they help you use less makeup. So using the foundation brush makes a huge difference as far as how much of the foundation I actually use. So in the long run, I'm not having to use as much foundation, which is fantastic. So really highly recommend these brushes. So what I do is I take the misting spray. This is Savvy Minerals misting spray, and I spray it in my hand. So a lot of people show you to spray it on the brush, but I found when I was doing that, I would have like one wet spot and the rest was kind of dry. And so when I picked up my foundation, there would be like a clump, and then I would put it on my face and I'd have like a clumpy spot. And so a friend of mine who's into makeup, she recommends spraying your hand. So that's what I do. I just do one spray in my hand, and then I take my foundation brush and I dab it in there. And that way I can ensure that it gets damp on the whole entire brush and not just totally soaked on one area. So I've really liked that. So then I take it and I dab it into my little lid here to get the foundation nice and coated on the brush. And then I just start brushing it on there. I am not a makeup tutorial person, so I'm just using my phone camera to do this. So the coverage is probably not going to be quite as normal. So if I was looking in a mirror, I have a little mirror here next to me. I'll use that too. So I put on one sweep of it, and then typically I'll add a little bit more makeup into my lid and dab the brush a second time, go over it again, especially kind of around my cheeks where I have the most redness. Now, you can absolutely turn the foundation into concealer and do that on your under eyes or spots or whatever you need to conceal. I almost never do that because usually just a light brushing on of it all over my face is plenty of coverage for me. So foundation. Next, I do my bronzer, which I use the Crowned All Over, which is the lighter of the bronzers. Oh, and here's a tip. I used a silver Sharpie to label all of the lids of my makeup. That way it was easy for me to find it and didn't have to keep like picking stuff up, especially with the eyeshadow, and looking to see which one it was. So there's a little handy tip. So Young Living has a bronzer brush that is kind of pointy tip almost. I just dip that in my bronzer and I do it kind of underneath my cheekbones, almost like in the few contouring videos I've ever watched people do with contouring. Just a little bit, and then kind of brush a little bit excess on my forehead, make my hair all crazy there, and down in the middle of my nose just real quick. I just very light, minimal amount. Next, I move on to my blush, which I use Smashing. I believe that is kind of the middle color of the 3 blushes that Young Living has. And I use the Savvy Minerals blush brush. Put a little bit on there and then just brush it on, kind of following that line I made with my bronzer right there on my cheeks. I have some pretty big old cheeks there, so I'm just kind of put a little bit of blush on top of there. And then I take this ginormous, super soft mineral veil brush and dip it in the Diamond Dust, which is the Savvy Minerals veil. It's kind of like a, an all over setting thing. And when you look at it in the little pot, it looks very sparkly. Like I thought it was fairy dust. It was white and sparkly, and I thought, oh no, I'm never gonna wear that. I don't wear sparkly makeup. But it doesn't do that on your face, so don't be deceived by what's in the container. So I just take that and I start with a swipe down the middle so that if I have some excess, it kind of goes right there, and then just really lightly go all over, and then usually we'll go down my neck a little bit too with that. And that is my foundation face stuff. All right, after that, we move on to eyes. I start always with Best Kept Secret, which is just a nude matte brown color. And I take the eyeshadow brush from the Savvy collection, and I brush that, so hard to see in a video, just all over my whole entire lid, all the way up to my eyebrows. And I basically just use this as a base. I put it on under any color that I'm going to be doing, no matter what it is. And for my own skin type, it's pretty close. I mean, it's a little bit darker than my skin tone, but it's close enough that it works as a good base. Now, I have all of the Savvy eyeshadow colors except the green one, which I can't remember what, Freedom, I think is what that one's called. I have all the other ones and they're all beautiful and I use them all, but the ones that I use the most are, I tend to stick to like a pink and brown palette. So I'll usually use one of the pinks, which right now I'm using Crushin', which is this pretty pinky gold color. And I put that just on the lid and a little bit up like to my brow bone. Same with the other eye. Let's switch mirrors for a second here so I can actually see. There we go. And then Determined is the brown. And like I said, I kind of run to a pink and brown palette. And so I take a little bit of that and put it here on the corners, just on like half of my eyelid, up to the brow bone. And then that is kind of like, it's an obvious pink brown line in the middle there. So I take the contouring blending brush. It's called the blending brush from Savvy. And I just run over the whole entire eyelid and make sure that gets blended, and it blends it really nicely so you don't have like really obvious lines. So most of the time that's it for my eyeshadow. However, if I am, you know, wanting to add just a tiny bit of extra or have a little bit of extra time, whatever, I will take a lighter color like the Wanderlust, which is this pretty, sorry, it's like so hard to see and I'm not used to doing this. Anyway, it's this pretty white color, and I will sometimes take that and put it just a little bit right underneath my eyebrows, just a tiny bit there, and a little bit on the inside corners of my eye. Just a little bit to make a little bit of extra pop. And I would have done that before I blended, and then blended it all together. Since I didn't, I'll blend it a second time. But I don't usually do that because, like I said, I'm pretty minimalist and quick, and so I don't do a whole lot of layers of eyeshadow colors. So I typically just stick to the Best Kept Secret as a base, and then 2 colors for my lids, usually a pink, like Crushing, or I don't remember what the other pink one is called. Residual maybe? No, Spoiled. And then a brown. But sometimes I do the purples, and sometimes I play around. After that, I'm almost done. Next is eyeliner, and I use the Jet Setter, which is the black that Savvy has, as my eyeliner. And what I do is, typically I'm in my bathroom at my sink, and I will start the faucet, and I will get my finger wet in the faucet. Since I'm not in my sink, I just brought a Dixie cup with water. And I take my finger and I hold the lid, and I let 1 drop into the lid. I don't know if y'all can see that, of my Jet Setter black eyeliner lid. And then I take that and I mix it with, sometimes there's still some black left from the last time I did that, and sometimes I have to get some from the actual little dispenser that holds all of the makeup. And I take my angled eyeliner brush, which is part of the Savvy brushes, and I just mix it around, and I make kind of a black paint, just a tiny bit there in my lid, and I use that to line my eyelids. I never used liquid eyeliner or powder eyeliner that you turn into a liquid. I've always used a pencil, so this took a little bit of trial and error before I figured it out. So that is what I do, and then I use the angled side of the brush to line my eyes, and that would be a disaster if I try to do it on the camera, so I'm going to use my little mirror here, and I just draw it right on there with the little angled brush. And you can do this as thick or as thin as you want, and I'll stop and get a little bit more if I need to. And I line the top, and typically also line the bottom on both sides. And the cool thing with this is, once you've mastered taking this powder and making it into your eyeliner, you could do any color of eyeliner with any of the eyeshadows that you have. So if you wanted to do the pretty brown, that's kind of brown and gold, the Determined eyeshadow, you can do purple. We've got a couple purple colors. That's really pretty as an eyeliner. And so you can play around with it. So, so once my eyes are lined, I don't do anything special like a cat eye or anything like that. I do not have the skills for that yet. Maybe someday. Then I just add my mascara, and that's it. Well, no lips. I forgot about that. Right now, I do not have the Young Living mascara yet. They're still formulating that, so I'm just using, this is some L'Oreal Voluminous. It is not natural. I used to have a natural mascara I used from 100% Pure, but I ran out, and so right now I just bought something cheap and quick at the drugstore. So, not endorsing this mascara, but that's what I have at the moment. So, I usually put 2 coats of that on, and then do lips, and I'm good to go. All right. So I cannot stand the feeling of dry lips, so I always put on some lip balm before I put any lipstick or anything on. The Young Living Cinnamon is my favorite, so I put that on first, And then I do a lipstick and a lip gloss usually. My favorite lipstick color is the Adore color. It's the most recent one that Young Living came out with in October, I think. And it is a pinky peach nude type color that I really like. And then top it with a lip gloss. And my favorite lip gloss is this the darkest one that Young Living has, that's called Maven. I think it's so beautiful. And there you go. That's it. That's my routine. This video it's telling me that I have been videoing for 15 minutes. But like I said at the beginning, if I were just doing this in my bathroom without talking through it and trying to figure out my camera and that kind of stuff, this would take about 5 minutes to get done. And so here we go. I'm ready to go. I can glam it up more if I need to, tone it down some, you know, if I'm just running errands, I don't do the lips, you know, or whatever. But this is kind of a pretty typical makeup look for me using the Young Living Savvy makeup. So I hope that helped you guys out.